Otokoto is a deadly ritualist who was apprehended and executed in Owerri, Imo State, in the southeastern part of Nigeria in the early 2000s. If you are from the Igbo tribe and born before the millennium, you would definitely know about the untold story of Chief Vincent Duru, alias Otokoto, who was infamous for ritual killings. His son, Obidiozo Duru, then was the kingpin of the notorious Black Secret Cult that was responsible for sporadic robberies and abduction of children within Owerri Axis in Imo State. In fact, following rumors of the nefarious activities of the Otokoto family, Owerri residents subjected the Otokotos under the radar and surveillance. It is said that there is no smoke without fire. Also, when the wind blows, the roof of the fowl is exposed. On the 19th of September 1996, Otokoto was incriminated. His dirty linens were washed outside. His exotic hotels, the Otokoto hotels, were razed down. He was incarcerated and later executed 20 years after his indictment. It all happened in the capital city of Owerri in Imo State on the 19th of September 1996, when an 11-year-old boy named Anthony Ikeru was murdered for ritual. The young boy was a groundnut hawker who frequented the street of Owerri to sell his groundnuts. On that fateful day, he was walking past Otokoto hotels when a man identified as Innocent Eke Anyanwu at Otokoto hotels, age 32, beckoned on him to come. Unsuspectedly, the young lad excitedly went into the hotel to sell his groundnuts and was treated like a guest. He was given a bottle of chilled coke, which he shunk down with relish. Sadly, the drink was spiked, and soon the poor boy slipped into everlasting unconsciousness. Innocent Ekanyanwu then carried the limp body of Anthony Ikechukwu into one of the hotel rooms, and what follows after is what both the gods and human beings forbid. He decapitated the boy's head, ripped open his abdomen, harvested his liver, and cropped off his penile tip. He selected other organs he needed and stashed them together in a polythene bag and buried his remains in a shallow grave near the hotel. After burying the ill-fated lad, he immediately left the hotel to deliver the head to a big cat named Chief Leonard Onaogo at Ezeama, Ikeduru, near Owerri. Blood was still oozing from the bag when he alerted, which stirred the suspicion of the Okada man identified as Mr. Hilary Ngozi Opara. Innocent Ekanyanwu could not deposit the head as Chief Onago had already left the town for Lagos. Remember, the year was 1996 and there was no mobile phone then. He had to go back to Owerri with the head. The bike man quickly tipped the policemen and they intercepted Ekanyanwu on his way back to Owerri in a Peugeot 505. Hell was let loose when the news spread. The media even fueled it as they beamed live innocent Ekanyanwu carried the fresh head of little Anthony Ikechukwu. The people of Owerri went berserk when they beheld the agony sight that was bestowed before them. They all trooped out in their numbers to Otokoto Hotel for protest. The hotel buildings were razed down completely. They equally marched to the palatial mansion of Otokoto nearby and destroyed his expensive cars and expensive properties. The unstoppable protesters equally went round destroying other properties linked to Otokoto, even those of his friends. During further investigations, Mr. Innocent Ekanyawo, who was later identified as a gardener in Otokoto Hotel, was remanded in prison. Surprisingly, he died 4 days later from food poisoning. Luckily, before he croaked, he was able to confess. He implicated Chief Unago as the mastermind behind the brutal killings of Anthony Ikeru. In fact, they ran a killing syndicate which specializes in kidnapping and harvesting of human organs for rituals and sacrifice. According to him, Chief Unago had directed him to get a human head. He further confessed that Otokoto and his gang had been in the business far back as 1970s. The guests at his hotel were not spared too. They were drugged or attacked in the middle of their sleep, after which they were dismembered and their organs plugged. The police swung quickly into action and discovered tens of shallow graves in Otokoto Hotel. More than 24 decomposing and dismembered bodies of human beings were exhumed. Chief Unago was immediately arrested, but he blatantly denied knowing whom Innocent Ekanyawo was. At that time, Chief Unago has power and influence. He was the younger brother of Las Unago, a then serving minister under General Sani Abacha. Trial properly commenced on the 9th of December 1996 with the Okada man Ngozi Hilary Opara as the first prosecution witness. Other witnesses came up, which include Ambrose Honor, a police sergeant who recorded the confessional statements of Innocent Ekanyawo before he was mysteriously killed. Margaret Asholono, a receptionist in the hotel, who confessed that Chief Vincent Duru aka Otokoto was actually in the hotel the day Paul Anthony Ikeru was beheaded. Another police sergeant, Sunday Onwuchakwa, told the court that Innocent Ekanyawo had lied about the crime scene. According to Sunday Onwuchakwa, Innocent Ekanyawo had told them he executed Paul Ikeru and dumped his dead body inside Mba River near Owerri just to mark the actual crime scene. The police was deceived at first with the first trial before information reached them about the commotion at Otokoto Hotel. It was even reported that Chief Vincent Duru aka Otokoto had shouted at Innocent Ekanyawo during the course of the investigation before he was murdered. Otokoto screamed at him in Igbo, "Emebolam," meaning, "Have you implicated me?" The sorrowful mother of the poor lad, Latisha Okoronkwo, and the police officer, Suleiman Idris, were on seat when Hilary Opara, the Okada man, came to testify. Another police photographer, and Ralph Nwanwu, the doctor that performed the autopsy on Paul Anthony Ikeru, all testified in court. The case smelled on without progress for 3 years as there were series of adjournments, absence of presiding judge, and lawyers, even to the transfer and retirement of judges. There were reports about the preferential treatment given to Chief Onago because he was the minister's brother. The case was stalled until Justice Shoma Nwosu Iheme, a powerful and fearless judge, took over the case on 28 April 1999. She sentenced the 7 suspects linked to the murder of Anthony Ikeru to death. Their names were Chief Vincent Duru Otokoto, Alban Ajewu, Samson Nnamito, Ebenezer Egweke, Lawrence Ebu, Rufus Anyanwu, and Chief Leonard Onuagu. In fact, while delivering his judgment, Justice Nwosu Iheme referred to Otokoto and Onuagu as hardened and unrepentant murderers and highly sophisticated criminals. She said that the blood of poor Anthony Ikeru must be a very strong and powerful one that screamed to God in high heavens for vengeance. After her epic judgment, all the convicts were taken to Port Harcourt prison in February 2003, pending their prosecution and execution. Their lawyers kept on appealing the judgment, which was futile as the sentence of execution was still upheld. Finally, 20 years after the inglorious saga, Otokoto was hanged. His execution took place on Sunday, November 13, 2016. Chief Onago, on his part, died in Port Harcourt prison in very mysterious circumstance. Otokoto was later described by the media as the most heartless ritualist in history. Otokoto was a ritualist for 30 years until blood of poor Anthony Ikeru cried for vengeance, and that was how he was apprehended and executed. He gave the Igbos a very bad name in Nigeria.